Alrighty, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. We're super excited to chat with you guys today. But before we get started, I'll just run through some housekeeping. This webinar is going to be around 45 minutes. Everyone is automatically muted and off camera. So please use the chat option in the bottom of your screen to chat. And then please use the Q&A feature, which is also at the bottom of your screen, to submit any questions that you may have throughout the presentation. And then we'll save those questions until the end to answer. And if we don't get through all of them, we will make sure to follow up with you directly with whatever answers that you're looking for. So with that, let's get started. So today we're going to be discussing market research in the new Gen AI era. And I'm super delighted to introduce you to Fuel Cycle's new Chief Product and AI Officer, Daryush.
Hi,
Uh,
everyone.
yeah, so we're really excited about you joining the team. There are lots of big things happening at Fuel Cycle right now, and it's a very exciting time for us. So shall we jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this will be a Q&A kind of format, fireside chat, I like to say. But yeah, so kind of opening up the discussion is, where are most research teams actually at with Gen AI right now?
So first of all, hi, Victoria. Pleasure to meet you again. Good to be on the call, and thanks everyone for joining. I know it's early in the morning, at least on the West Coast it is. So thank you for spending time some time with us. So when I look at the usage of Gen AI in the market research area, I would say most folks are somewhere between curious and committed, which means they are pretty much all over the spectrum. But when I double click on it, when I go a little bit a little bit more into depth, I see what I see in all other kind of disciplines and functions. And market research is not, honestly, it's not that different. There's a lot of experimentation happening. There are a lot of people who are testing, as in, hey, does this work? Does that work? People are being very cautious. But it's also being, I would say, contained. It is being kind of done in small teams, maybe teams of one or teams of a couple of people, definitely on one kind of one-off projects. It is yet not fully built into the underlying market research discipline and function. So it may sound a little bit grim, but actually it is almost the same thing that you will see in other kind of disciplines as well. Some disciplines are a little bit, I would say, more forward. They're a little bit ahead. Let's say software engineering, it's way much ahead in utilizing AI and Gen AI. But aside from that, I think everybody else is still experimenting, getting up to speed, testing, kicking the tires and stuff. So the real gap, though, I don't think it is necessarily desire. I don't think it's necessarily interest. I think the real gap ultimately is trust. Can I actually trust the output of the AI in my market research? Can I trust it enough that I will bet my market research on it? It is ultimately about the trust and the ROI in there. So that's what I basically see where the Gen AI usage in market research is right now. You're on mute.
Oops, sorry. I'll just stay off mute. But no, that all makes sense. And I think, we're seeing that a lot with our clients and things like that. So, great answer. So to probe a little bit more, like which of these areas do you see clients adopting first and like why are we seeing that?
Yeah, so if I kind of break the kind of market research into its building blocks and in different tasks, everything always starts with a design, right? As in, what is my research objective? What do I actually want to figure out? And how do I actually design my research? So that's actually the very first place that I see most folks starting to adopt Gen AI stuff, and that actually also makes sense. As in, it's the first place that you start. Now, today in the market research world, when you kind of come up with a research objective and you want to start the design, you pretty much start with a blank piece of paper, right? So that's where you start, and then you kind of go. Now, one of the benefits of Gen AI is that it can help you with that cold start. It can help you initiate things kind of a lot faster. That just makes it very, I would say, a natural point to actually get Gen AI things started. Also, that's the best place. Remember, I mentioned that the real blocker is the trust, right? Or the real concern is the trust. If you start from the beginning in the design stage, that's where you are kind of starting to think about, okay, how would I kind of build this stuff myself and things like that. So you start from there, and then you can also utilize AI and then see the output of the AI and then compare it kind of side by side and then kind of validate it and then see, oh, okay, it looks like this AI thing is giving me something very, very interesting. And then so that's the place that I see kind of the world kind of getting started.
Awesome. Love that. So really, I guess going deeper into design is, how does AI change the way a study actually gets designed?
Yeah, sure. Let's double click on it. So as I mentioned, Gen AI is very great in getting you started. That's a very good place to start. Kind of get over the cold start type of problem, right? So you're starting with a blank piece of paper. So without AI, what do? You start thinking through, okay, what was my research objective? What is the right method? What are the right questions I want to ask? And then you start writing things down, right? You start doing it. So you do the thinking, and then you jump in there and spend some considerable amount of time actually doing the doing. And then maybe after you have done something, you stop, you take a step back, you squint at it, see, okay, is this right? Is this wrong? You start kind of evaluating it as well. With Gen AI, you're still doing the thinking, as in, okay, what is my research objective? What do I actually want to get out of it? But when it gets to the doing part, the part that you do is that you're actually creating a very good, awesome prompt for the Gen AI. So you're spending most of your time creating that prompt for the Gen AI so that Gen AI can does the magic that it does and generate a bunch of things. The interesting thing there, though, is that as you are actually writing your prompt, it helps you clarify, even in your mind, what was that research objective? What did I actually want to get? Am I framing the problem correctly or not? So as you are writing that prompt, naturally you go through the process of refining what you are thinking in there as well. So that's what you do. Gen AI will then go come up with a bunch of kind of results for you, and then you get to the third piece. That I mentioned. You're doing evaluation. You're squinted at it. See, is this right? Is this wrong? You're still doing the same thing. You're looking at what the AI has actually provided for you, and you're still kind of applying your judgment in there. So the thinking doesn't go away. The judgment doesn't go away. You just do less work. AI does that grunt work for you. AI helps you do that thing faster. You have more time even kind of evaluating the results that comes from AI. So overall, the quality is not compromised. The quality you don't compromise on the quality. The quality doesn't go down. Your throughput goes up, and you have a co-pilot there that is basically is helping you kind of doing the works better and faster and quicker.
I love that. So I guess to double click even more into that, is how do you see the researcher's role changing as AI handles more and more of these processes?
Lots of double clicking today, so I like that one. Actually, I would argue that AI actually makes the strategic value of the market researcher pop even better,
Hmm.
pop even more, right? So let's imagine a world without AI. You're a market researcher. You spend X percentage of your time doing the thinking and evaluation, and the Y percentage of your time actually doing stuff, just writing things, kind of going back and forth, all that creative things. And I would argue that that Y percentage is a lot kind of bigger than the X percentage that you spend on thinking and design and things like that, right? So from the outside, the role of market researcher is looked upon as someone who just does a bunch of work, right?
Mhm.
Now with AI, you are able to increase your throughput, do the same thing a lot faster. You are in the arena a lot more. You're basically providing your point of view, you're providing your thoughts, you're providing your expertise. So, and that's the strategic value that you as a market researcher actually brings to the table, right? How do I think about the objective and I go about kind of getting the data that I needed? It's not really doing the work, it is doing the thinking behind how do you get that data. And with AI, you're just in the arena a lot more. You are coming up with the insights a lot faster, and the strategic value that you actually bring to the company, to the organization, will pop a hell of a lot more that way.
That that totally makes sense. So kind of shifting over to execution, can you walk us through what AI moderated interviews actually look like at scale?
Oh, so sure thing. So let's think about this. If you are doing a moderated conversation, okay, so you have, let's say, one moderator to one individual, one moderator to three people, and the moderator is basically moderating the discussion. Okay. So if you need to do, let's just make the numbers kind of simple. If you are doing 500, if you need to do 500 interviews and each moderator can talk to, let's say, two people at a time maximum, you logically need 250 moderators kind of going back and forth, right? Uh, those 250 moderators, again, I'm using that one as an example just to make the numbers work out, right? So those 250 folks, they probably jump on those conversations at different times of the day, with different amounts of espresso and coffee in their veins. Maybe some of them happens after lunch. So the quality of those moderation kind of goes up and down, and it's a function of the time of the day and the amount of coffee that you have. Also, it's a function of who the moderator is, right? So you will get varying quality of that moderation. Now, if you have AI doing most of that moderation, guess what? First of all, AI doesn't need coffee. AI functions the same way before lunch or after lunch. The level of consistency that you get from AI will remain the same. You spend some time kind of tweaking the AI, massaging it, squeezing it, make sure that it's actually doing the work correctly. But once you have that AI in place, the consistency is maintained. You can also scale, right? AI can talk to 500 people, 500, can do 500 interviews at the same time if needed, right? So you can scale almost indefinitely without compromising on the quality and the consistency. The transcripts of those conversations will come in real time. You can adjust it in real time. You can deal with it in real time. So all the scale that you get from AI is actually going to be there, but the consistency and the quality will remain the same. By the way, Victoria, I think your question is actually extremely timely because we are working on an AI moderator that we know that is going to hit general availability kind of later this month as well. By the way, correct me if I'm wrong. We have another webinar scheduled just for the AI moderator in a little bit, right?
Yes, we will have that webinar at the beginning of September, and we'll share the link in the chat for anyone who is attending right now and would like to register ASAP. So very
Awesome.
excited about that.
So we get to spend 45 minutes just talking about AI moderation. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It's really important. I think that's it. also leads into my follow-up question is, like I think, 500 interviews, that's a lot. How do you make sure that, AI is, maintaining quality control with that volume?
Oh, so very easily. So AI is ultimately a binary entity, right? It is not a human, it's a binary entity. So the consistency that you have built into the AI will actually scale with how much you're deploying it and how much you're actually scaling it uh, kind of horizontally. So every interview, every conversation runs against the same guidelines, the same logic, the same kind of quality bar. And by the way, you don't have to wait until the field work closes or anything else. You can actually see the results actually coming in real time, the analysis, the transcripts, everything coming in real time. And as you see it, if you need to tighten something, you can tighten something right away. You don't have to wait to set up a meeting with the moderators and then adjust it or anything else. So that consistency will get applied at scale. If you need to tweak something, your time to resolution kind of shrinks very small because you're seeing the real-time results coming back. And once you tighten it, once you adjust it, once you massage it, you can then redeploy that AI at scale in a matter of seconds. So yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting when we have that feature. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes.
Um,
I tell you what, maybe we can even do a live demo of it in the
oh
next webinar.
yeah, definitely. You read my mind. So that'll be awesome. So kind of opening it up a little bit more than just AI moderation, but even surveys or discussions, interviews, things like that. Like, once field work closes, what happens to the data?
Well, traditionally, once the field work kind of wraps up, you need to wait for the data to make it to your data lake. So that takes a few days. Then you need to wait for your data team or your data science team or your marketing team to jump on it and do a few analysis and stuff. So the whole thing from the moment that the field work closes till the moment that you have some insights that you can work with is measured in the number of days or number of weeks or things like that, right? Because humans they actually have to go do the work. By the way, when they are doing the work, let's say they're on one analysis, they kind of get one function wrong, they need to go back, adjust it, kind of things like that. So there's a lot of iteration stuff that goes there. Nothing wrong with it. It's just the way that it works. But what if you could have AI do most of that analysis kind of for you? Again, AI does things a lot quicker, a lot faster. It can actually work on data as it comes in. It doesn't have to wait till it finishes. So the moment that the field work kind of closes out, in that very moment, maybe 5 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes later. But almost immediately, you have the themes, you have the pain points, you have the delighting moments. You can actually, if everything is videotaped and you have them on video, you can actually generate the highlights, highlight reels and stuff all in real time. So with AI you can do things faster with the same level of consistency, the same level of quality, and you just get to the data and insights kind of a lot quicker and a lot faster.
Oh, love that. Yeah, it's crazy how fast things are moving with AI.
Absolutely. I think if there is one thing that I just let folks kind of walk away with, if there's one thing that you actually get from this conversation is that number one, with Gen AI, you can get started a lot faster and quicker without compromising on the quality. But also the results that you get, the quality and the depth of the insights that the results that you get will not change. You just do things a lot quicker, a lot faster, a lot more real time-ish. So it is all about increasing throughput without compromising on the quality and preciseness. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, no, 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 you're good. So, obviously talking about quality, like What about, losing the nuance or depth in the insights that a normal human being would bring out in those insights?
Um, so let's actually talk about a parallel kind of a world, right? I like airplanes. I like flying and stuff. So I always kind of think about building a wing of a Boeing airplane, right? Before the advent of automatic screwdrivers, somebody had to go and manually screw the screw in its place, right? Just because we got automatic screwdrivers that you kind of like put on the Phillips head screw and then you push a button and there's like a boop, and then push the screw in, right? The automatic screwdriver helps you do things faster, but the screw is the same screw, the wing is the same wing, the quality is the same. So I don't think speed necessarily means higher speed doesn't necessarily means lower quality. Higher speed, higher throughput doesn't mean shallowness. AI just helps you do things a lot quicker and a lot faster with the same level of consistency. Said a different way, let's say you wanted to do an analysis, and this analysis takes, I don't know, 10 days, and it has 10 different independent steps. What if you had 10 interns that you could give each one of them one of those tasks? They will go do it and then come back. You're still in charge of the quality. You're still kind of make sure that the data and the results that they actually brought in is good, is precise, is correct, and everything else. You just do things a lot faster. I hear sometimes this argument that if I do things faster, how do I make sure that the quality is there? And I feel like that is the wrong question. The quality is built into how you are constructing your AI. AI just allows you to apply the same level of consistency and quality faster and at bigger scale.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And I think we're getting into our last few questions. So, if someone's ready to bring Gen AI into their workflow, but they don't really know where to start, what's your advice for teams like that or individuals too?
Uh, I would say that pick one place, one spot, and then start there. Don't try to apply it to 100 things simultaneously. Pick one area, apply AI to it, whether to the design part, whether to the moderation part, to any part of it, and then kind of show and prove, quantitatively prove that you were able to, utilizing AI, you were able to do the work at the same level of quality as humans, maybe even better, but you could do it faster. You could do it cheaper. You could do it with more confidence. Quantitatively proven. Remember, in the beginning, I mentioned that the barrier to go big on AI right now is trust in every discipline, market research included. So you need to build that trust, and the trust is usually built, drop by drop. You lose trust in buckets, but you actually build it drop by drop. So you need to slowly build up that trust. So start in one area, show the value of it, show the benefit of it, prove that one, and then basically socialize that value. Start building enthusiasm and trust kind of around AI.
Love that. And then just final little, deep, deeper dive on this is, from your point of view, what does that transition look like for the teams, bringing AI into their research workflow? And what do you think is, best practices starting there?
In the beginning, it might look kind of scary, as in, I'm bringing in AI. What am I going to do? This is going to change the world, blah, 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 right? Practice and basically empirical evidence that we have had over the past few years in applying AI in any of these kind of business workflows is that the transition is much smaller than people think. You start small, you pick one workflow, you pick one area, you apply AI to it. You make it better, you make it faster. Then you go do it at three. Then you go do it at five other ones. And slowly people will say, you know what, this is becoming obvious. Let's just do it everywhere, right? So that barrier to adoption is not as high of a barrier that we think. It's actually smaller. Now, the place that things become a little bit hairy and becomes a little bit complicated is that if you're trying to apply AI to everything all at once, if you're trying to boil the ocean kind of right off the bat, those kind of boil the ocean efforts tend to not succeed. The efforts that they succeed, they are deliberate, they are step by step. You actually start somewhere and you methodically kind of grow. Once you actually get started, once you actually get past that inertia, then things just have a habit of falling into place.
Love that. And I
Yeah,
think we,
maybe I add. Sorry, Victoria, interrupted you. Maybe I add a couple more things kind of in there. Right now, there is a lot of conversations happening everywhere around agentic AI. That we need to let agents take over and agents do things and stuff, right? If I take a step back, I can apply generative AI to any problem in one of two different approaches. There is assistive AI, as in I am the human, I'm still doing the work, AI is assisting me. AI is like the 10 interns or 100 interns that I have. And they are good interns. They are fantastic interns. They're very capable interns. I'll just give them work, they go do it, and then they come back. But I'm still in charge. I'm the human over the loop, and I still kind of make the call. So that's the assistive AI approach. Then there is agentic AI. And agentic AI ultimately means that AI has some level of agency to take over decision making and completing a task and stuff, right? So if you go on YouTube or on X or other places, you will see a lot of conversations there around agentic AI. It's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that conversation. In fact, that fuel cycle, we are using agentic AI quite a bit in our product building, product development, engineering, even in our finance functions. Victoria, I know you're using a lot of agentic AI in marketing functions and things like that, right? But the reason why companies like us or companies out there that are using agentic AI are able to roll out these agents in big and critical workflows is that they have spent the time to build the trust in the AI. If you feel like that your company, the place that you're working at has some gap around trusting in the AI, or in terms of the level of maturity, in the maturity curve, your company is not at the top, your company is kind of in the beginnings of it, then assistive AI is the place that you need to start with. Utilizing assistive AI, having AI assist you in your day-to-day job, is the thing that will help you build trust in the AI. Make sure you have your prompts in a correct spot. Make sure that your AI infrastructure that is supporting you is correctly created and set up and all of those things. So if you're transitioning into utilizing Gen AI, my recommendation is to start with assistive approach. And once you actually get your feet wet, once you actually build enough confidence and trust in the AI, then you can move into the agentic world. Leapfrogging over assistive and jumping into agentic, yeah, do that at your own risk.
yeah, I think that totally makes sense. At least speaking for, a marketing department and the way that we've started using AI over, I mean, we started 2 years ago. But it is like those baby steps, like, and then, once you really get there, feel comfortable, and then you can really run with it. And it's pretty darn great. So, yeah, can't emphasize your whole statement that you just said more. But awesome. These were great answers, Daryush. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We will now jump into Q&A. So if you haven't had the chance to submit any questions, please do that either in the chat or the Q&A section. But it looks like we do have a few that have already come through.
Are they
Um,
easy questions or are they hard questions?
let me see. I'm blind. This copy is tiny. So in your opinion, is there a minimum scale where AI moderation stops making sense, or where you're better off with a human moderator?
You mean so let me parse the question, right? This is at least how I understand it.
Mhm.
When you say is there a scale, I'm assuming that you're talking about the bottom of that scale, as in if you're talking about two people or three people, then yeah, probably the human talking to them and the AI talking to them will yield the same result. I think the place that utilizing AI, including utilizing AI in moderation, would make sense is that you want to scale up, and so you want to have hundreds of interviews or lots of those kind of conversations, and you want to make sure that you can complete those conversations in a short period of time, but with the same level of quality. So if you have pressures around time dimension and you obviously want to have the highest level of quality in place, then that is a place that AI can help you out. Also, you need to realize where you're actually deploying AI and how you're actually utilizing it. Um, a few days ago, I was for the third time in my life, don't judge, but for the third time in our life, we're watching Mad Men on Netflix. I think it's moved to HBO, but anyway, so we're watching Mad Men, and there is a part of it that they are going to this kind of burger shop called Burger Chef, and they're interviewing kind of customers. They're trying to figure out what would be the best tagline for Burger Chef, and it basically, of course, it's a drama series, so they were making it a lot more dramatic. But it was a time that the researchers were hungry; they wanted to go get a burger, they want to wrap up things. They have already talked to hundreds of people and things like that, right? So the quality of the research was obvious that it is diminishing with the time distance from the last burger. Those are the places that I think AI can actually come and help you out. We still do not have humanoid robots that can go, let's say, in a drive-through of a burger place and then kind of field, on the spot research yet. We don't have those humanoid robots, so that's probably a place that you today cannot deploy physical AI on it. But yeah, something for you to think about. Hopefully, I got the question right, by the way. If I got the question incorrectly, the person who asked that question, just put a follow-up back in Q&A and then we'll pick it up.
No, I think that was a great answer. And also love Mad Men. It is a wonderful TV show, and especially being in marketing, I'm obsessed. But okay, we have another question come in. So, how are your users currently benefiting the most? It's in asterisks from AI tools on your platform, and where do you see them not yet utilizing the tools to their full potential?
Yeah, so the place that our data shows our users are utilizing our AI quite a bit is number one, kind of figuring out, refining, going deeper into how do they get started with a particular research function. So utilizing that, I think that's one place that we see quite a bit of AI kind of helping out our users. And then number two, around asking very interesting questions from their data, right? As in, I have this piece of data, I have that piece of data, and 6 months ago I had some other pieces of data. AI, can you connect the dots between these for me? Let me ask kind of very, very interesting questions, kind of from that. So those are the places that right now our data shows that our clients are getting the most usage of the data. I was expecting this one because, as you can imagine, this is all assistive AI that they are using. We are starting to see some tractions on AI moderation as well. Again, we are building and kind of solidifying that AI moderation. So we will have more to share. Victoria, it's in about a month or so, right? Towards the early September or so
Yeah,
that we'll
they
be
said.
talking about it. So more to actually come on that as well. Now, the places that I see AI not making a very big dent just yet, it's just because we haven't matured the AI in that area that much, is around, okay, how do I actually field the study? How do I pick my audience? Do I know enough about my audience and things like that? So those are the areas that I feel like they are obvious and untapped potential for us. We are starting to experiment in those areas, but it's just a function of time. Haven't seen much traction there. And by the way, for everybody who's on the call, if you want to join us around building those kind of experiences, those kind of features, we are always looking for design partners who can join us in the journey of building these things. So if you are interested in doing that, just ping us, ping Victoria, or I think Victoria, is it okay if they just contact marketing@fuelcycle.com?
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah, just send us a message at marketing@fuelcycle.com, and then we'll chat, and then we'll go towards that journey.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Perfect. So it looks like we have a few more questions rolling in. So from Stephen, and Stephen, I don't want to butcher your last name. So Stephen, it asked, you mentioned conducting 500 qualitative interviews, which is an enormous lift. Even with AI assisting the analysis, you still need a reliable sample source and a way to recruit respondents at that scale. How does AI actually support the sourcing and recruitment side of the process?
So interesting question. Good question. The most important thing is that AI does not change the laws of statistics, doesn't change the laws of physics or anything else, right? So if you are doing 500 kind of interviews, and I just made up that number 500 just to get the mathematics of the conversation kind of be easy. But if you are basically doing research at that scale, you want to make sure that you have actually captured the correct kind of sample, a representative kind of sample of your population, that you have recruited them correctly in the correct area. So all of those kind of principles remains unchanged. AI just makes the work with that sample size a lot faster. To the second part of your question, how does AI actually help us kind of recruit and create this population a lot better? I think those are the areas that we are building the AI, we as in the industry, including Fuel Cycle, but the industry in general. That's the place that we are actually building AI to actually help us out there. So do we have perfect AI for it right now? No. Will we have an awesome AI that can actually do that work for us in a few months or quarters? Yeah, we will. And in fact, if you want to join us in that journey to actually help us build it, again, ping us, and then we would be happy to chat. But that's probably the next frontier where the AI market research is going to go into.
Perfect. Yes. And I will repeat again, we would love to have some design partners join us. Email me at marketing@fuelcycle.com and we can chat. And, there's no commitment, but you want to learn more, we're more than happy to have a discussion. And then I think just for the sake of time and letting everyone maybe take a breather before their next meetings, I have one more question that is quite long, but Chelsea, this is a great question. So, what are your thoughts on the SaaS apocalypse? Do you believe that AI will render obsolete business models of many software companies like Adobe, or do those companies have certain incumbent advantages? For example, stronger cyber defenses, etc. which when coupled with AI integration will allow them to get ahead in the medium to long term?
Uh, Good question. So I'm not an expert on cybersecurity or anything else, for that matter. So it's hard for me to opine on the cybersecurity side of it. But I would say that SaaS apocalypse is something that is happening. It's actually real. And it really has to do with the fact that in the market, the users, the consumers, are demanding more of a usage-based pricing as opposed to a seat-based pricing. Now, that coupled with some of the market dynamics around SaaS companies and the amount of investments and stuff that has gone in there actually makes SaaS apocalypse a phenomenon. It is not limited to market research, but it is a phenomenon that is actually happening in the market. And I think it's ultimately is driven by users and consumers kind of demanding a more elastic, a more usage-based type of pricing for the services that they get, as opposed to a seat-based pricing. So that reckoning is definitely real. Now, whether you pay for something on a usage-based or a seat-based, I would argue that you still want the highest level of trust, security, protections, and stuff in there. So I think that part remains unchanged. It is rather orthogonal to whether you are paying based on usage or based on seat. It's something that you need to demand regardless. So answering your question in more generalities, I'm not going to talk about Adobe or another company in particular. They have spent a lot of time, money, effort, blood and sweat building a very well defended infrastructure. So they're actually sitting very well to help deliver that particular promise. The real question is that can they adopt fast? Can these companies adopt fast enough to the dynamics of the SaaS apocalypse or not? I think it's ultimately it comes down to a question of execution as opposed to strategy. They say execution is strategy for lunch every day of the week, and I think that's still true in the SaaS apocalypse world as well.
Oh, great answer. And just really quick last question, actually from Chelsea again, was what AI tools do you recommend for AI moderation? And Daryush, correct me if I'm wrong, but Fuel Cycle.
100% fuel cycle.
Yes.
That's the only one that I recommend. That's
Yeah.
the only tool you need. You don't need anything else.
Yes. And we would love to show you what we're working on. It will be coming out within the next few weeks. But please, I actually will follow up with you personally and connect you with one of our salespeople and product teams so that you can see everything that's going on. That sounds good. Okay, well, I think that's a wrap. Want to make sure you guys can get some snacks and coffee before the next meeting. So thank you everyone for attending. Daryush, thank you for your expertise. This, I think, was an absolutely fabulous webinar. As Daryush had mentioned earlier, we do have a webinar like specifically on AI moderation coming up in the beginning of September. Kaylin has dropped that registration link into the chat. And we look forward to seeing you there as always. And if you have any questions, please, again, don't hesitate to reach out to Marketing at Fuel Cycle, and I will direct you to the expert for your question. And yeah, thanks everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Victoria. Thanks, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.